Yo, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up. Watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Can't hit him, 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 listen, hit him, listen. This Eagles talk, this talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat, Nichelle and Pat, the dark job. Drop the stats on them, drop the facts on them. Spur game, baby, let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante, the Dark Knight. Welcome to Upon Further Review, Eagles Talk, where we recap the Eagles' last game, which was on Sunday, and that was a huge win over the Baltimore Ravens. I'm sorry, I got clear my throat. Over the Baltimore Ravens. The bullies were bullied by us. We're the bullies now. We're the bullies now. All right, we are the bullies now. So you got. I'm saying this not for us. This is not for Bird Gang, Eagles Nation. This is not for us because we already know, right? We already know. This is for the rest of the league and your fans to understand that we are now the bullies. With no more. What you saw last year was out of character for us because we were being bullied last year. Last year, we were being bullied. You know, it started with San Fran last year. They came in here. They snatched our souls, and we were never the same after that. And there was terms used like no heart in describing this team, specifically the defense, no heart. As well as, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Those type of things were used to describe this team and this defense last year. But those days are far behind us. Because after Sunday, you realize that we're the bullies. And we have a lot of heart. A lot of heart. You understand what I'm saying? Pat, you saw this game? I did. It's just no longer walk all over the Philadelphia Eagles. They're soft, and I was hearing those things last year, man. I was hearing those adjectives used last year. Soft, no heart. Well, those days are over because Sunday and Baltimore is known to be bullies. Baltimore are known to be the guys that come and take your lunch, right? They're notoriously known for that, right? And Sunday, we bullied them. We bullied them.
We did what which name did off of Back to the Future. They was Biff. Yeah. He's in the car. We turn around. Hey, my girl. Oh man, it was a good game. It was an entertaining game. Shout out to CJ Gardner-Johnson for rallying up the team. They getting the defense prepared after that 9 points that they allowed. Man, it was. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. And let's get this thing started. So you guys are listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around that is by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. And we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So we're going to take shots for our big bad Philadelphia Eagles. And, we're going to say a prayer for that team that we bullied on Sunday. And, it's just the way it goes. I mean, sometimes you take people's lunch money, and sometimes you get your lunch money taken. And we took their lunch money on Sunday. I apologize. I'm sorry. I hate bullies, but we're bullies now. I am just settling in to what my team is. We're bullies. On defense, we're bullies. Okay. All right. So if you tuned in on Sunday, you know that I was gifted a mocktail. I don't drink anymore, but a friend of mine gifted me a mocktail. So this is bourbon, Free Spirits bourbon. So I'm going to be taking a shot for the culture.
Oh, wow.
And still stay sober. So, yeah.
I'm not.
That is doing the Woodford Reserve.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's do this in celebration of our Philadelphia Eagles and the huge win on Sunday. Everybody, up. Let's down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the Quarter.
All right. So, as you heard in the opening, we are bullies now. Last year is well behind us. We are no longer, you can no longer use adjectives such as soft, such as a team with no heart,
Mm-hmm.
such as that. You can't use those terms anymore. I think we've been working our way up to this point, but after Sunday, and what we did to the Baltimore Ravens, it's safe to say that we can make this public announcement that the Eagles are bullies, and that's just who we are. We have a lot of heart. We have the physicality that we are accustomed to as Philadelphia Eagles fans. I keep saying in 2022, although we had the third best defense and the third most sacks in NFL history, and that defense was all right. That defense was pretty good. Got us to the Super Bowl, right? But for some reason, it didn't pass our eye test. We didn't like the way that the corners played off, and it didn't feel right, right? Well, now we have a
Yeah.
defense that is reflective of our heritage as Philadelphia Eagles fans. We have a defense now that shows the physicality that we were known for. The Buddy Ryan defenses, the Bud Carson defenses, the Jim Johnson defenses. We have a we have a resemblance of that now. Very similar physical style of defense, and you saw it on display on Sunday against those former bullies, the Baltimore Ravens, because we bullied them. Pat, you were in the Bahamas. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back shoreside, and tell me how you saw it and watching it in the sunny Bahamas.
Well, first and foremost, I'm happy to be back. um, listen, down there in the Bahamas, the average temperature is around 76. It did get a little chilly at night. Don't get me wrong. It got chilly. You had to put a hoodie on and some pants. But it's nothing like I'm spares here in Philly. But down there, I don't know where these people came from. But when I got there, I was greeted by a lot of Dallas fans. It was like, ugh.
Ugh.
You need me down here. Uh, so I brought that spirit of Philadelphia Eagle football down to the Bahamas and Freeport. Shout out to all the nobles and the daughters that invited us down there to Kiku Ziku Temple and Court. We had a great time. They had the game on at the beach. Well, I had to put the game on my phone at the beach. Then when I got back to the resort, they had the game on at the Tiki Bar. And yes, if you've never seen a game with Pat, full Pat was the display. Dark Knight,
Oh
full
wow.
Pat was the display because
Oh
the
Pat was it?
Dallas fans were those Dallas fans were so happy that the Ravens was up 9-0. They said, "Oh, y'all about to get blown out. Y'all ain't ready to play. Y'all ain't ready to get down with this team. Y'all don't have the spirit." And I looked at him and said, "Keep watching, keep watching."
Yeah, hold my beer.
First touchdown, first touchdown. I said, "Keep watching, keep watching." Second touchdown, I said, you quiet now, huh?" Mm, mm. When he missed those field goals, I looked at him again. I said, crickets. All right. Then it's like once we scored again and we started going up, it looked grim because the thing about it was it was 12-24 at one point. It was really that was a garbage touchdown at the end. 24-19. Yes, it looked like it's a close score, but that was a garbage touchdown at the end. And the game was much more out of reach than what the score reflects because of our defense, of our bully mentality, of our intelligence. I have to say this really, really quick. The intelligence of the players that we have on defense, absorbing the scheme of Nick Fangio, and understanding the concepts and the routes that officers are trying to put you in, understand that you need to be in these particular areas, is making it much difficult for quarterbacks, making it much difficult for offensive coordinators to dial up anything against this defense. Right now, this defense is hitting on all cylinders. When I say it's hitting on all cylinders, let me pull up a stat really, really quickly. As you go to the first comment, Dark Knight, let me put up the
All
stat
right.
really quick.
As he looks for the comments, let me just welcome our third co-host of the night, and that is you guys in the chat room tonight. So the first person in the room tonight was Mr. Brendan Ware, and he says, "I got class this evening. Just wanted to give a quick fly, Eagles fly." So he's probably not even on there. I took so long, he's probably not even on there anymore. But he was the first person in the chat room. Second person in the chat room this evening was Mr. Wilbert Jones. What's going on, Mr. Jones?
What's up?
I'm feeling so good about this team, as we all are. Third person in the room is Richard Late, and he says he's drinking the Rain Vodka Ultra Light, as we come to expect now. He changed his vodka up. It used to be Tito's and Ultra Light, but now it's Rain Vodka and Ultra Light.
Keep it like that. Keep the rain going.
Yeah. My man Eric, he said, "What's up, Dante? Miss you coming into Wawa." He works at my local Wawa. I like to go in there and get my salads. I love salads from Wawa. Stay healthy. Wawa is something else, man. Wawa got everything.
They
Like,
do.
yeah, everything, and I don't mind. It's food. Like, I know it's not a 5-star restaurant or anything like, but to grab something quick on the go, Wawa hits the spot, man. So, yo, what's going on? And he's
Our
a hater.
But before you go to we rooting for the pack tonight. We all rooting for the pack. Pack
Oh yeah,
wins
he
tonight.
is.
We get
Yeah,
number
he is
one
right.
seed. We
Yeah.
got that right now. But let me go to the set before you go to Eddie and Dwight real quick.
All right,
Right? For our defense. So our defense and the Philadelphia Eagles put this out there. So you don't have to really go to like PFF. You don't have to go any other sports track. You can go right to the Philadelphia Eagles Facebook page, Instagram page, because they put it up for you.
Okay.
They said they're not the one. They said they're top two, and they're definitely not two. So the defensive rankings since week 6. Number 1 defensive points allowed per game at 13.4. Number 1 total defense at 241.3 yards per game. Number 1 pass defense at 148.5 yards per game. Number 1 3 and out percentage at 44.2%. Number 1 in sacks, and this is since week 6.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, what? We don't want.
Yeah, they're not. No, we're not number
All
one.
right.
We're number 6, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
30 sacks. This is week 6.
Okay.
And we're number 1 in forced fumbles at 11. But you put all that together with the culmination of the whole season, and that's why you get the number 1 defense in the NFL at this particular point. Number 1 scoring defense is the Lions, but the number 1 overall defense is the Philadelphia Eagles. And with that, I mean, the intelligence, the smarts, the ability to understand what the offense is trying to do. Vic Fangio has a philosophy, right? He has a philosophy, and he gave it to his players. His players took a while to understand what he was trying to give to them, and now they're executing that philosophy to a T. And we're seeing the results. We're seeing the results of that right now.
Yeah, I agree. Talked about it on Sunday and previously too about the learning or the time it takes for a team to get accustomed to new coordinators and new coordinators to get accustomed to their units. It's an adjustment period that just doesn't happen overnight. And I know that you think that, well, Vic's been here since January and all that, but in essence, that's not a lot of time. You got the OTAs, you got the rookie camp, you got training camp. You only have like a few sessions to really get on the same page. So that adjustment occurs in season while they are in the regular season. So I gave the team about to week 8 or so that I expected to see more cohesion. To my surprise, though, the defense started showing more cohesion earlier than week 8. I would say around they've always been playing good, but they really turned it on in this 8-game winning streak. So they came together a lot quicker than I expected. And we are seeing the fruits of that labor and the results of Vic Fangio's effect on this defense. We've had the Vic Fangio philosophy here prior to him arriving, but it's a whole different thing when you actually have the architect of the defense you're trying to run. We were trying to run the Vic Fangio's philosophy of defense the previous 3 years. But wow, what a difference it makes when you actually get the architect of that defense to actually coach your defense. And now we see how this defense was supposed to look, what we were looking for when we were adopting the Vic Fangio philosophy. Now we see what that philosophy is supposed to look like when you run it the right way, when you have the architect actually teaching the players and running it the way that he designed it to run. It is a thing of beauty. This team and his mentality and effect on this team, it shines through. It shows. It's so evident. If you talk to Vic, if you listen to Vic in his press conference, he's an old school throwback coach, tough guy. And this defense is playing like that, old school throwback, tough football, physical football, getting at it football, shutting people down football, not giving the receivers any room to run football.
Mm-hmm.
This is great, man. This is great to see. And I going into Sunday's game, if you were here for the pregame, you understood that I had the utmost and more confidence in the defensive unit than I had in any other unit on this team. I felt that we were going to win just because of the performance that the defense has been putting in week after week. I am so comfortable and confident going into any game now because of this defense. And our offense is not shabby. Don't get it twisted. Our offense, by no means, is our offense shabby because it's still the most talented unit we have on the team. It
Yeah.
is this most talented unit we have, but the defense is just performing. It's the best performing unit that we have on the team right now.
Well, with that being said, can you go to that quote by Eddie? I took a screenshot. Eddie put more, but he just summed it down a little bit for everybody.
This or what? Which one?
I'm gonna read his comment that he put on our group page. Give me 1 second. So Eddie, shout out to Eddie, because I guess he listened to a sports talk radio show, and he said, "What up, fam? I'm annoyed with sports talk when it comes to the Eagles. Why must our team be throwing for over 300 yards per game for our wins to be considered legit? It's obvious after 12 weeks that this team runs through the run game and defense. I just feel the media is fixated on this narrative that your quarterback is not throwing a lot and you cannot make a deep run." Listen, Eddie, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. If you look at the lines, right, and they're playing tonight, Jared Goff throws a total about 24 balls per game. They're a running team, and they're considered a dominant team in the NFC, right? They're considered the number one team in the NFL. Even though they have over 12 IRs, major injuries on their defense, the offense is clicking on all cylinders, right? He's not throwing up 500 passing yards, 400 passing yards, 300 passing yards. Shoot, a couple weeks ago, Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions. That got his name taken out the MVP running, right? If your offense is efficient, meaning your quarterback is doing his damn job, right? He's not a field general. He's not a what they call that, the I can't think of the name right now.
Game manager.
He's not a game manager. He is a field general. He is actually orchestrating the offense because he's changing the call to get the better play on the offense for the run game, which is a positive thing, right? You have a MVP candidate with 5 games. We got 5 games left. This dude got 1,499, 1,500 rush yards. He's going to have over 2,000 rush yards, even if we don't play him in the last game. This running game, not only does it work efficiently in the first half, in the second half, you can see the teams are tired that we're playing against because you have 1,000 pounds of offensive linemen pressing down on these defensive linemen every single play. Shoot, Saquon has 908, I think 82 rushing yards in the second half. That's almost more than the freaking New York Giants total rushing. And we're worried about our quarterback not throwing for 100, 300 yards. That's preposterous. If you have a running game that's propelling the offense, regardless of the weapons you have, that's speaking volumes of what you can do when you're clicking, right? It says that if we want to run the ball against you, ain't nothing you can do.
And that's an extension of the bully narrative that I
Mhm.
opened the show with. That our defense is quite obvious. You see what we're doing on defense. You see Jalen Carter manhandling these guys on the offensive line, wrecking havoc all by himself, being very Fletcher Cox like. You understand what I'm saying? He is disrupting. He's a disruptor. He's a
Yeah.
disruptor, right? And he's doing this, and along with his line mates, very physical play, linebackers flying around, making hits, heat-seeking missiles. You got Dejean out there, man, making textbook tackles, laying the wood and all that. But our offense is also bullies, man. It's not. This is not a finesse, air it out type offense that I know is the sexy thing to do in the NFL. What the NFL likes themselves as an organization, the NFL loves that aerial game. It looks sexy. It looks sexy. Who doesn't want to see the topless blonde on the beach? That's what the air game looks like, right?
I know I
That's
went
what it
to the
looks like.
BBW
But
in the club in
our
Atlanta. What are you
team
talking about?
is wrapped around our team is wrapped around or built around a running game. And on Sunday, I said it, and I'll say it again here. Our team is throwback football. We're seeing throwback football. We're seeing physical defense, and we're seeing a return to the offensive days where it was a running backs league when the
Yeah.
running back was the franchise offensive player. I mean, the quarterback always number one, but number two was a solid running back. And in those days, you had teams like the Bears, you had teams like the Cowboys to the Knights, you had teams that ran well, and you knew they were going to run, and they dared you to stop them. Well, that's what kind of offense we have now. You know we're going to run. You know we're going to run, and that's the bully ball part of it. That we don't make any no qualms about it. We're going to run the football, and it's your job to stop that. It's your job to stop it, and they've not done a great job thus far of doing that. Now, I have to disagree with you a little bit on this, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I get
Mhm.
it if we're talking about a person that has an ego, right?
Okay.
But if you're talking about somebody that really doesn't care about the ego and all that, what's wrong with being a game manager at some points of the game? There's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
At
I
some
call
points of the
still
game, we
general.
need him to just manage the game. You know what I'm
True.
saying? And then at other times, we need him to put on his cape and carry the team a little bit. And Jalen, to his credit, is starting to get in a rhythm of when to do either or. He is
So
not trying to play hero ball when he doesn't have to
mhm.
anymore. He just manages when he has to. And when it calls for him to don his cape and act like the Superman that we know he can be, he does it. The game when we had to pull out the RPOs, that was Jalen time then. But those games when Saquon is amassing 255 yards on the ground, you don't have to be a hero then.
I,
Just
I, I
manage
agree
the game.
I agree with you, Dark Knight, and I need to defend that position in the second quarter though, because I got something for you that you gonna love.
All right, okay, so we're going to end this quarter here.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you're watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around that is by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. All right, so I got a mocktail, so I know you guys probably Dark Knight, you drink it? No, Dark Knight.
No, you're not trying.
Not on that. I'm not back on that level. But a friend of mine understands that I don't do that anymore, and he found a mocktail just for me so that I could have a prop for the culture like you guys. So he found a mocktail called Free Spirits Bourbon. Uh, doesn't taste anything like real bourbon. I mean, no, no, I'm going to say that it does have notes of the smokiness and stuff like that, but of course, there's no alcohol, so it is very light. It's like bourbon light, very light. So, but to my surprise, though, it has that bite at the end of it, right? And that's only caused by alcohol. So I'm surprised how they still have the bite at the end of it. I'm curious as to how they do that, but it does have a little bite at the end. So
Probably in the same
okay,
barrels. Probably in
Yeah.
the same barrels. Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Pat is doing the Woodford Reserve. You guys let me know what you're doing out there, and we'll take a shot in honor of our 10-2 bully ball Eagles. So down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right. So go ahead, hit me with the stats. Hit me with your
So
best.
so so Dark Knight, you're talking about the blind on the beach. So you like the Pamela Anderson on the beach on and the Baywatch. I'm like the Miss Park over Friday. I need her thing. Right? So
Right.
I don't need our quarterback to be that blind. I don't need our quarterback to throw 300 yards and be Mr. Everything and still lose the game, right? I need him to be that Mrs. Parker, hey Mrs. Parker, and get everything settled for the rest of the block, right? And if you look at the MVP running, right, they put Josh Allen ahead of everybody, right? So Josh Allen is that quote unquote blind because he's putting up all these yards. And Jalen Hurts is that bum, he's that thick girl at the strip club that you only give $1 to, right?
Right.
But but in actuality, the one that you get a $1 to, you got 1,001, so you gonna give all the ones.
All right, wait,
I'm
hold
sorry.
it. Let me stop it right here, man. You got your wife watches this show. You gotta. All right, look,
This is
he
I'm
talking about when
I'm
that time when
reformed.
I was there, I was
I'm
telling him a
reformed.
story.
I don't go there no more.
Okay. Jeff, he talking about a story I had told him about. That's not something that he. I was telling him a
At
story
all.
earlier.
At
I was
all.
telling him a story earlier, Steph. All right, go ahead. Finish
But
telling the
no.
story.
But I'm just gonna throw you the stats out there, right?
Right.
So Josh Allen completion percentage right now is 64.6. Jalen Hurts, the bum, is 68.4. Passing yards, 2691. Jalen Hurts, the bum, 2494. Rushing, 334. Jalen Hurts, 485. Total touchdowns, because you got to figure in, you can't just put his passing
Right.
touchdowns with his
Exactly.
rushing touchdowns. You got to put his total touchdowns because that's what Josh Allen does.
Right.
26 total touchdowns. Jalen Hurts, 26 total touchdowns. Percentage, completion percentage, right? I'm sorry. QBR, total rating, 100.3 for Josh Allen. That's high. Jalen Hurts, 101.8. Who's your MVP?
It
Who's
is.
putting up the 300-yard games? Who's the blind on the beach and the thick girl? Listen, they say it's apples and oranges, but at the end of the day, this team is more efficient right now than the Buffalo Bills, right? And I hate to say that because the Buffalo Bills are a phenomenal football team, but they are completely leaning on their quarterback to win in this game. Jalen Hurts is doing what's necessary. He's a general. He's putting the players in a proper position and he's making an efficient play. He changes the call. He sees what the defense is doing. He changes the call at line of scrimmage, and he's making the proper play, and he's not getting the proper respect. So is Saquon Barkley's not getting the proper respect. Right now, the most electrifying player in the NFL, the most important player to his team at this particular junction, is Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I agree. And it was something that you said I wanted to jump in on. Oh, okay. So we're talking about the 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 sport. I mean, the Philadelphia area on Sports Talk, the narrative that they're talking about and involving Jalen and the such, right?
Mhm.
And I think that we are watching it from a close up view, right? So, and this is in regards to, the criticism that we seem to heap upon our quarterback on when he doesn't do everything right, right? And what I mean by that is like we watch the Eagles more than we watch anyone else. We watch the Eagles through a magnifying glass, so to speak. We live, eat, and breathe the Eagles. So we pick up on every little mistake that they may make. But I have news. Here's a news flash for you people. Everybody makes those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
All the quarterbacks in the league are making those mistakes. We just magnified Jalen's because we watch him the most. We don't watch Detroit like we watch the Eagles. We don't watch Kansas City like we watch the Eagles. We don't analyze other quarterbacks around the league like we analyze ours because we see him the most. So calm down. I guarantee you, you watch some, especially Kansas City. Watch Mahomes this year. He's not the Mahomes that won MVPs, and he's only lost one game. We're not, and we're not throwing him under the bus. We're not calling him a bum. Josh Allen, if you watch Josh Allen makes mistakes. Everybody does because there's no one out here that's playing 100% error-free football. It's not happening. You,
Correct.
you think Jalen's the only one that misses receivers? Are you kidding me? You think Jalen's the only one that throws a inaccurate pass every now and again? No. So chill with that. And you made a great point with Jared Goff
Mm-hmm.
and leading his team, what the best team according to the rankings, the best team in the league, right? He threw 5 interceptions in one game. We're not talking about their offense. We're not talking about him being a bum. We're not even talking about them not being able to win a Super Bowl. If we have, I'm with you on this, Eddie. If we're having conversations about the doubt in our quarterback being able to win a Super Bowl, then why the hell are we proclaiming Detroit as a Super Bowl favorite? Jalen's not ever thrown 5 interceptions in one game, not ever, and especially not this year. But you want to say that he is not capable of leading us to a Super Bowl, and the favorites have a quarterback that threw 5 interceptions in one game and it doesn't even have the skill set of our quarterback.
Correct.
If you shut down Jared Goff's passing lanes or his open receivers or anything, it's not like he can do anything else.
And Dark Knight, I truly believe with what you just said about shutting down the passing lanes. I truly believe the Vic Fangio defense, the way they have these guys playing on the field, right? Actually, not just going to a part of the field, but seeing everything for what it is, right? Seeing that this player is running to the flat and I need to stay within 4 yards and not just dropping back to my hook the krill zone. Seeing that this player is running, man, listen, it was a play. I wish I could show it right now. It was a play where Josh Sweat, yes, Josh Sweat dropped back into coverage on a crossing route, which would have been wide open if he didn't drop back in the crossing route. Now, mind you, a lot of time our defense ends, they do drop back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this time, you see that not only did he drop back into his position, but he was looking, he was visualizing where the player was coming from, seeing the player, and getting to the actual end point where the player should be at. And I think that led to a sack. Like these minute changes in our defense, having the players actually physically think and understand that you got to play this game with your mind, not just physicality. Yes, you can be the most physical player in the field. You can be the most dominant guy on the field, like Jaden Carter. But Jaden Carter has something else. He has talent. He has the mindset to understand that I'm going to stem this way and stem you back and swim and toss you and get to where I need to be at. Or do what a Jordan Davis is doing, because a lot of people are not getting Jordan Davis that credit. Jordan Davis is taking on 3 or 4 offensive linemen, right? He's crashing down towards Jalen Carter of a line stunt, and not only is he crashing down, he's still keeping his integrity and keeping that line of scrimmage. We are dominating the line of scrimmage. One thing I always used to mention, especially last year, dominate line of scrimmage. I'm gonna stop right there.
All
I'm
right,
getting a little hype.
I'll
I'm
let
getting
you
a little hype.
finish. I'll let you finish your thought, but you'll finish it in the third quarter. So this is the end of the quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That is by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles, the Bully Boys, the Bully Boys. And we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So Pat is doing the Woodford Reserve, and we got plenty of reason to celebrate because our Philadelphia Eagles are 10-2, and we'll talk about a little bit about the person who is heading this whole thing because we wanted him out of here just about 8 weeks ago, and he's doing a fantastic job. But we talk about our Philadelphia Eagles, 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles, doing so well, do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Pat's doing the Woodford Reserve. I'm doing a mocktail. Let me know what you're doing out there, and let's celebrate our 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
All right, Pat. You were saying you were finishing. You were getting hyped. You were in a
Yeah,
monologue there. I didn't want to interrupt, but I wanted to go. You
I saw
were
the
on the
I
soapbox.
saw the finger go up.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's everybody in this defense. They're playing their part. And one thing I think I've preached over the past what 10 years, almost close to it, 8 years that we've been on, is play your position. Stop worrying about your other position. Play your position. Do your job. If you do your job, your teammate next to you will do their job. You create something special, and that's what I would say about Jordan Davis. His stats don't look like a number one draft pick stats, right? But his ability, his ability to change that line of scrimmage, even when he getting double teamed, is tremendous. Dark Knight. To see that he's taking on the deep offensive linemen and giving Jane Carter the opportunity to go one on one is something magic. And this seeing Jalen Carter working his physical ability, because he remember when he got drafted last year, they said he should have been a number one overall pick. He's the best player in the draft. And right now, he's still proving it to this day that he is a top defensive back, maybe the best defensive tackle since Donald was no longer a part of the NFL. He's taking on double teams and he's making things happen because he has the ability to swim and move and use his hands. And shout out to freaking Nolan Smith. 4.5 sacks, finally showing up to the game and doing a lot of things that we need him to do, because what they did against Lamar Jackson should be studied. And don't go to the last drive. What they did against Lamar Jackson, who likes to, extend plays or look for Zay Flowers, because Zay Flowers did get a lot of catches over the middle. But the tackling, the know-how to make sure we take against these passing lanes. And the same thing you said about Jared Goff, take away those passing lanes. When you use your intelligence on the field and now you're just playing with all out ability, you get the number one defense overall, man. Shout out to Vic Fangio and shout out to all the players that have been doubted doing their doggone thing.
Yeah, definitely, man. I I love what you just said about the defense, man. It's all true. That is when I get worked up. When you start talking about defense, I get passionate about the defense because defense plays like that. Like you can't talk about the defense and your energy level don't get
Yeah.
up. I mean, as soon as you start mentioning those players, the adrenaline starts rushing through my body. Like I don't even know how you talk about them and be so calm. When you're talking about Jalen Carter, he is violent down there. He is a disruptor. Go back and watch this game again. I just might after this game, after this show. But go back and watch him, man. If you don't get if you don't get worked up watching this guy battle the offensive lineman in front of him, and the guy and I just all I could do is say
That
a
Rhino.
prayer for all I could do is say a prayer for the poor offensive lineman that has to face him one on one. I'm like, oh my goodness. I know they are wishing that they could, had another line of work. You know what I'm saying? Because he's because you know what I mean? He's the kind of guy, if you're an offensive lineman, he makes it like, man, I don't feel like going to work today. Like, damn, it's raining. Like, like, oh man, I don't feel like going to work today. But he's that type of player. And I can only pray for those that have to face him one on one. But he's given hell to those who double team him also. So even when they have help, it's like it's really no break. You're still getting a rhinoceros in a China store, right? He is breaking shit and he is trying to disrupt things, and it's happening. It's happening, and it's happening on a more consistent basis than what we saw last year when he kind of ran out of gas. His rookie season, I guess he hit the rookie wall, and he just wasn't the same at the end of the season as he was in the beginning. But with Vic coming in here, and I get excited talking about Vic. With Vic coming in here with his philosophy of how to practice also, because he changed some things up in training camp. He said it in his press conference. We're going to work these guys in training camp. You know, that's when I fell in love with Vic Fangio, because I've never been a big fan of this new training camp regime or regiment. I'm sorry, this new training camp regiment
Hmm.
of taking it light, doing more walkthroughs. You can't do this, you can't that. Vic came in, and from the door he said, "We're going to work. I need to see what I have. We need to get these." And he talked about it in training camp. We need to get these guys conditioned, and tell me that this team doesn't look well conditioned late into games. It doesn't look like there's any drop off in the fourth quarter from the first quarter, and that is a result of Vic Fangio and his style of training camp, his style of practice, his style of teaching, man. And you see it all over this defense. This defense, it plays like I am talking. It plays with a lot of energy, and it plays with enthusiasm, and I love to see it.
Yeah, I listen, Dark Knight. You know me. I'm a defensive person, and I love this defense. I'm trying to pull up the stat right now, so I can suffice everything out there. So the Browns lead the NFL with 50 sacks, right? So we're only 20 sacks behind the Browns, which is number I'm sorry, 32. We're 32.
T.I.
So
T.I.
we said
talking about some damn. What's in the mocktail? Nothing in the mocktail, Dion. There's nothing. It's the defense. The defense. If you don't get amped up over the defense, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you have ticking inside the chest right here.
nah,
You must not have anything if you don't look at this defense and think of Jeremiah Trotter, and the gang. If you don't think even, and I dare say it may be blasphemous, if you don't think about the Jerome Brown days, the Reggie White days of physicality, man,
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. This
you have to
defense
think
just
of those
takes me back.
days.
It takes
It's
me
not,
back.
it's not blasphemy because if you look at these guys, N'Kobe Dean is damn near knocking these running backs, these tight ends out, right? Look, freaking Derrick Henry is 6'4", 260 pounds, 250 pounds. I've seen that in person. I've seen that in football pass. I've seen that at full speed. Cooper DeJean, exciting whites, lifted that mother brother up and said, "Nope," and dumped him on his head. Like this defense is actually on pace to be one of the best defenses that we have seen since that doomsday defense, that gangrene defense we had. You gotta understand something. These players are cast-offs. N'Kobe Dean was considered a bust. Jordan Davis, even to this day, people consider him a bust, right? You look at Zach Bond. He was an outside linebacker with the Saints with a special team ascension thing, right? He wasn't considered no inside linebacker. He's one of the best linebackers in the league, if not the best linebacker rated in the league. Shoot, he can win Defensive Player of the Year. That's how good he's playing at this particular time. We drafted 2 cornerbacks. We drafted a guy from a lower level D1 school, Toledo. We drafted
And he's a
another kid from
shutdown corner.
Iowa who was a white kid that say, "Oh, y'all don't draft white corners." And the crazy thing about it, Jason Kelsey and his brother Travis did a podcast. Yes, I gotta throw them out there. I'm sorry, Dark Knight. A year
Sorry,
ago,
don't have to
and they
apologize.
said the hardest position on a football field is corners. It is so hard that there's no white corners in the NFL can play that position. And right now, DeJean is killing it at the nickel corner position. If I see Avonte Maddox out there, I'm gonna run out there my damn self and hit the out of him. Excuse my language.
Yeah, that's why I kept that comment on the screen, because Jeremiah is right on point with
What
this. Keep
the
Maddox
hell?
and Slay out of the game. I'm telling you, man, the only time I notice Maddox is when he has done something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only time I hear his name, and
But it's
he's
always
actually
something
holding
wrong.
someone, or he's getting burnt, or something like that. I'm cool. I'm cool with I'm cool. I don't need to see no. I don't need to see anymore. I'm cool on that. How they say in the street, I'm cool on that. I'm all right. I've seen enough. I don't need to see Maddox. And Slay, although I think Slay still has some gas in the tank, the the defense really doesn't lose anything when he's out. As a matter of fact, they might even elevate a little bit. I hate to say that because I love Slay. Slay's my guy. And
When
I think
healthy.
Slay has been playing. Yeah, I think Slay's been playing at a high level when he's healthy.
He's been
But
injured he's been injured since I think the fifth game of the season, and he's been masking it.
yeah, so I like him, but I'm with you on that, Jeremiah. If I don't have to see Slay and Maddox, I think that the young boys have it. And let's rewind a little bit, right? Because we're giving a lot of kudos to the defense and stuff like that. We just talked about the 2 corners that we drafted this year. Well, let's give some credit to the man who drafted these 2 corners, because I came across a graphic, and it looked at our first 2 picks of each draft from 2020 till now.
Ooh.
And it was impressive. And there was only one player that is not with the team today, and that would be one Jalen Rager.
This mother brother.
And that year, he drafted Jalen Rager first round, Jalen Hurts the second round. Oh, the next year, I don't have the graphic up, so I'm going off of memory. Let me see if you can bring it up.
2001, 2021.
2020 to now. Eagles draft picks from 2020 to now.
I pull it
Their
up.
first 2 draft picks of each draft. So it was an impressive list. I can just go over this year's, which was DeJean and Mitchell, right? Last year it was, who was it? It was
All right, so
Jalen Carter and Smith. Nolan Smith was last year. Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith seems to be 2 good picks, right?
let
The
me
year
give you
before,
let me give all your picks for you. You want
all right.
all your picks?
Number 2, the first 2, just the first 2 of each
All right,
draft.
first 2 from 2020 is, of course, you already said Jaden Rager and Jalen Hurts. We had a Jalen team, and
Right.
I'm looking at the rest of those picks like, wow. All right, for 2021, Devontae Smith,
Devontae Smith.
Landon Dickerson.
Landon Dickerson. Great picks. All right, go
Oh
on.
man,
Next year.
we had a good draft that year. We still got all right. 2022.
First 2 picks.
Oh man. All right, Jordan Davis, Cam
Jordan
Jurgens.
Davis and Cam Jurgens.
But you know
And then
what?
the year after that.
I can't go to the third pick. All right. For 2023, of course, we know those picks are Jalen Carter, Nolan
Jalen
Smith.
Carter and Nolan Smith. So in the first 2 picks of the last 4 drafts, Howie has knocked it out of the
Yes,
park.
yes.
These players are contributors, and they're contributing at a high level,
Mm-hmm.
and they're young.
They are.
They're young. They're all still on the roster except for Rager, which is okay. Nobody has a problem with Rager not being on the team. But those first 2 picks in the last 4 years are bearing fruit right now for this team. They're major players. We talking about Cam Jurgens, man. We talking about Jordan Davis. We talk about Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith. And Nolan Smith was like we thought he was going to be a bust. I mean, after 1 year, we didn't hear he is playing out of his mind right now.
I gotta go to the third pick. I gotta do this Dark Knight because I really gotta do this, man. I don't mean to bring these people up, but I gotta do this. Like in 2021, it was a solid draft. It was completely solid. The third round pick was Milton Williams, who is a big
Yep,
contributor right
big
now. Right,
contributor. Yep.
he's a giant contributor. We just brought back Taron Jackson in 2022. Look, Kobe Dean was our third round draft pick. And our sixth round draft pick was Grant Kent Cortera, who's going to be their starting tight end moving forward to probably the end of the season, who actually has played very well in the place of Dallas Goddard. He's much faster than Dallas, right? Um, in 2023, it was Tyler Steen, of course, Sidney Brown, Keely Ringo, Immoral Jumbo, and Travis McKee. All these players, except for the quarterback, Travis McKee, are contributors today,
Yes.
right? Even
So
Tyler Steen, who's considered a listen, it's okay, it's fine.
Taliesin is still a player.
He's still a player. He comes
He
in
is
and
still a
fills in.
good player. You know, this is a result of the wealth that we have on this team. He just happens to fall behind a Becton, who was a monster of a
He
darn.
was a first round draft
Like
pick.
he was a first round draft pick. So there's no shame in the fact that Tyler Steen is not starting right now. That just shows you how talented our starting offensive line is. Nothing against him. He's just happens to play behind a very impressive, massive human being in Becton, and he made the switch to guard kind of seamlessly. And but we have Tyler. We still have Tyler, a young guy, a young kid that can play. So we have some depth on this team and some young depth, and it is amazing that Howie has put this thing together and actually rebuilt this defense in one off season. This was a slow old defense last year.
It was
A
selfish.
slow old defense
It
last
was
year, and in
selfish.
1 year, this is a young, dynamic
Mhm.
defense, number one in the league, and that's all because of the orchestration of one Howie Roseman, GM, probably going to win another Executive of the Year award. And if we're going to talk about the cream of the crop in the NFC, we're right up there with Detroit. We're no longer them on one level and we on the other. We're on the same level. And if you ask me, I think they're playing out of their mind. Don't get me wrong. But like you pointed out, they are severely injured.
Mhm.
And at some point, I think that is going to have to catch up to them. But even if it doesn't, if they can stay, if they feel the team that they have now, I just have the utmost confidence in our defense and being able to slow down. See, because when you look at them, you look at how explosive they are, right? And this is why I love our defense. I can't. I'm sorry, Saquon. You did have 100 yards. You broke one at the end of the year, and we haven't talked about you a lot this episode. I'm sorry, Saquon. I apologize right now. But the stars of this team is that defense to me, right? So you talk about the Detroit Lions. You talk about the explosiveness of their offense, right? This defense and the confidence that I have in them is that they can slow down any offense that they face. I have that type of confidence. They have been performing on that level of physicality that I just have the utmost confidence that no matter who we face, we're going to slow them down. And yes, that means even the vaulted Detroit Lions.
Mhm.
So I think that we have an excellent chance. I'm not getting ahead of myself. I'm not boasting. I'm not. I talk to my friends now. I probably showed more emotion on this program tonight than I do when I talk to my friends now. I'm very subdued, low key. I'm just enjoying the play of my favorite football team. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm kind of mad because I saw one of the rankings and they had us number 4. And I don't think that we should be any less than 3 on anybody's rankings. anybody's rankings, should we be any less than 3? But they had us at 4, and I think who did they have above us that wasn't in
Well,
agreement with?
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's fine. I'm gonna tell you right now. It's fine that the Lions are getting all this talk. Let us stay in the shadows. It's fine that the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs looked like us last year, right? They're
Right,
winning games they shouldn't be winning.
they're
They do.
winning games
They
because of
winning
the damn
games
refs. Let's
because
be
of the
honest,
referees. All right, they
the
winning games
refs
just
is
because.
helping them
All
out a
right.
lot.
Then you have the Buffalo Bills, who's up there also. Then you look at us. They say, "Oh yeah, are the Philadelphia Eagles for real?" Like, look at this defense, man. We didn't have this type of defense last year. We didn't have this type of offense where as though we every single time we had an opportunity to score. This damn offensive line is changing the line of scrimmage every freaking play. It's a
Yo,
it's a clip that Baldy did, and this is after I looked at the game again. It's a clip that Baldy put up there that showed 3 plays in a row. This offensive line is changing the line of scrimmage. Even though Saquon didn't get huge yards, he got significant yards.
yes. So no, I'm in agreement, man. And I think that maybe they're tempering their enthusiasm for our team because of our offense. I don't know. Maybe because we're not a high flying, explosive type of offense, but I think that that's where they're undervaluing our offense. I think
I'm cool
that
with that.
we are riding what we do best, which is running the ball.
Right.
Right? We are invested in running because that's what we do most efficiently.
Hmm.
But I think don't sleep on our passing game. I think that that's what they're doing because they don't see a lot of it. But I think I have a feeling in the right situation, and hopefully it doesn't come up where a team somehow figures out how to slow down the running game. That's when you're going to see a passing game, and you're going to be like, "Damn it!" You know what I'm saying? That's when they're going to see the passing game and be like, "Oh yeah, we was tripping. We
Yeah.
was tripping. We thought they didn't have a passing game. Our passing game is there, man. Don't get it twisted. We have a passing game. We have an attack. This is the same receiver and quarterback group that had explosive years that year we went into the Super Bowl. That year we went to the Super Bowl in
Mhm.
22. This is the same receiving duo, the same quarterback as we had that year. So they didn't forget how to catch, how to play football, and they haven't dropped off any. They haven't dropped off any. It's just that our offense has changed to a running philosophy. That's it. But please, they trust and believe, and they don't have to. We'll show them. They don't have to. You don't have to trust and believe. I'm with you. Let's fly under the radar. Keep thinking that this offense is not explosive and doesn't have the capabilities of being explosive. Keep thinking that way.
Mhm.
We'll keep running the ball down your throat until somebody stops it. And if it ever comes the day where someone figures out how to slow down Saquon Barkley, you know, hats off to him. But when that day comes, that's the day you're going to see the passing game and the explosiveness of A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts.
Man, Dark Knight. We gotta go to the fourth quarter because I want to talk about
All
something
right.
really quick. I heard today.
All right, let's end this quarter, man. We got one quarter. It's going to be quick. All right.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you're watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. And here at Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Tonight, I'm doing the Free Spirits Bourbon, non-alcoholic because I don't drink, and it's a mocktail. So, and Pat is doing the real deal. He's keeping it 100 for the culture. So Pat is doing the Woodford Reserve. You probably, this is the challenge of the fourth quarter. Listen very closely for the slurs of Pat in the fourth quarter. See, this is
I've mastered it
time,
right now.
like
I've
how many
mastered it
times
instantly.
that you detect the slurs. All right, here we go. So to our Philadelphia Eagles, 10-2, and one of the best teams in the league, man. I enjoy it. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so last but not least, we had an offense out there on the field too. And they are still getting off to a slow start. But I'm not even concerned as much because of our defense again, right? So it takes them a little while to get warmed up. But when they get warmed up, they usually do it in spurts, and they did it. 2 touchdowns in the first half, 14-12 at halftime, and the defense, and they didn't even have the ball much in the third quarter. The offense didn't have a lot of plays in the third quarter. They didn't even have the ball a lot in the third quarter. The Ravens kind of dominated time of possession in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter, they regrouped, went back to the run, body shots. That running game is just like a heavyweight fight where you just work on the body all the first rounds of the fight. You work on the body and loosen up the head, right? Boom, you hit them, bang, bang. By the time the later rounds come, the boxer has dropped his gloves now.
Yep.
Now he don't have his hands up this high. They kind of drop down to his chest. Now you got an open shot for the knockout punch. And that's what our offensive line and running game does. It makes the other team drop their hands down to chest, and then they give the knockout punch to the head. And that's what Saquon Barkley did with the 26-yard run. Before that, it was a 12-yard run, and then a 26-yard run for the touchdown. And he amassed over 100 yards, which hasn't been done by a Baltimore Ravens opponent all season. He was the first one to break 100 yards, which tells you just how special he is as a running back, but also how dominant our offensive line and our running game is in being able to have a rusher over 100 yards against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Baltimore Ravens boast one of the number one rushing attack in the NFL. With Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, there's no telling which one of those guys is going to take off and ruin your day. At this point in our franchise, we have lost to the Baltimore Ravens at their home since their inception.
Mm.
This past week was the first time that we beat the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore with Lamar Jackson. It was more than a statement game.
Mm.
This was a game to say, we are here. And it's nothing that your offense can do when our defense is clicking on all cylinders. Even though our offense might not start fast in the first quarter,
Right.
they're going to beat you down. Dark Knight just gave you the whole breakdown of what needs to happen, right? He just gave you the breakdown of the boxer philosophy. I'm gonna take you a good 9 rounds. I'm not gonna get you. I'm gonna get you out here by round 10. I'm gonna get you out here by round 10 because I'm playing with you right now, right? The first round was exciting. Second round was just me measuring up everything I need to do. Third round was all right. I know I could beat you anytime I want you, but you know what? Let me get everybody have the viewers, get what they paid for. And the fourth round was like, all right, now let me get all the pay-per-view money in. The fifth round was like, you know what? All right, let me get some extra dollars in. The sixth round, all right, let me tour around and get my win back. The seventh round, like, all right, I could throw jab all game, and it ain't nothing you can do. The eighth round was like, all right, let me throw this uppercut to let you know that you can't do nothing against me, right?
All right. All right, go ahead, finish it, John, because we got some late comers, man, and I
I
need to call
see.
them out.
The ninth round is that flurry when I say, you know what? I woke up to you after I hit you with a 2-piece in the biscuit, and I tell you, like, I'm knocking you out in the 10th round. This is over. I got money at Vegas right now. 10th round is when we come out 35 seconds into the 10th round. I clearly knock you out, and you cannot get back to your wits. That's what the Eagles are doing right now.
Hmm.
They're
I agree, man. I agree. Um, we got some latecomers to class. They're regular attendees, but they're late, so
yes,
we need to
sir.
call them out. Jack, you're late, Jack. What the hell? What the hell are you doing, Jack? You're here like with 2 minutes, you show up at the 2 minute warning. Jack, that's crazy. And then John Batiste, were you guys in the hallway playing? Why weren't you in class here tonight? Were you in the hallway cutting class, both of you at the same time, and came into class at the same time? But we're happy to have you guys. Bill Crow, he says, absolutely run the clock the whole game and wear them out by the second half and just demoralize them. And that is what completes our bullying. We are a bully team now. I announced that at the opening of this show tonight. We are bullies. The Philadelphia Eagles are bullies. You see what our defense does. Our defense has a physicality that we haven't seen since Jim Johnson's defenses, since our defenses of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That type of physicality, they're bullying opposing offenses. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we're also bullying. We have a run game that will wear you out like a heavyweight fighter. They will wear you out. So we're bullying on both sides of the ball. So let it be known to everyone in the NFL, all of the fans, all of the teams. Let it be known that the Philadelphia Eagles are bullies. And this is the way that is going down for the rest of this year. You've seen it. I've seen it. And I'm now comfortable in embracing who we are. This is who we are. And it's not a bad seat to sit in, if I may say so myself. I'm never sat in the bully seat. Like,
Run, bro.
they're imposing their will, man. And Jalen Carter is the epitome of what I mean. Just watch this guy. He's killing it. All right, Dion says, ain't a damn thing exciting about our first round, sir, but it's Woodford.
I told you the first round. You just jabbing.
Tell them we are real and here, so they can stop nonsense like we haven't played anyone. Yeah, that was what it was. I agree with that. That's what Sunday's game was, to announce to the rest of the league that had your doubts that we were actually that team because we were beating up on lesser opponents, as if we had a choice to beat up on anyone else, because those guys that we beat up on were those guys on our schedule. We don't get to make that up. We don't. We just have to play those people that are in front of us. So for everyone that was doubting because you said we didn't play high caliber teams or whatever, you just saw what we did to the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm not bragging. I'm just reporting the facts. And the facts are we have a defense. I'm sorry, the top rushing offense in the league, and that's just it. That's it. I'm not bragging. I'm just stating the facts. Guys lie, girls lie, numbers don't lie. That's what Shell used to say, right? Numbers don't lie. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Look, we're gonna get out of here, man. We're gonna get out of here. Oh my goodness! All the way to the end of the program. I've been so excited about the defense. Didn't announce that we are going to be making a live appearance this Sunday at Miller's Ale House in Springfield, Pennsylvania, Baltimore Pike. If you live in that area, Delco area, Delaware County, Delco, the Delco area, make sure you come out and join us. You think we have fun on here? You think I'm animated on here? Wait till we get in house, and there's a lot of alcohol flowing around, and everybody's doing a shot with the Eagles Talk crew as we do our shot. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. So if you can make it out, it's 1:00. The Philadelphia Eagles take on the Carolina Panthers, and we will be at Miller's Ale House live, Springfield, PA, Delaware County. If you can make it out, come on out. Come on out, man. We're going to have a good time. But for my crew, Pat and Nichelle in her absence, Nichelle is just doing her thing. She's so big. You know what I mean? She's so big. You know, you think Howie's going to have a problem signing all of these stars after the season. We always have that problem after a season of Eagles Talk, hoping that Nichelle comes back. So you guys, and Nichelle will be there. As a matter of fact, Nichelle's all-female football club or group will be there also. So make sure you guys, if you can make it, come out. Miller's Ale House, Sunday, 1:00. Eagles versus Panthers will be there. I'm your man, Dark Knight, for Pat and Nichelle in her absence. We'll see you guys on Sunday. We're out. Peace.